Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here today on RJ's Trains. And I can't think of a better way to recap the year of 2025 than by ranking my top 5 locomotives that have joined my collection this year. So let's jump into that today on RJ's Trains. Make sure to use code RJTRAINS at trains.com for $10 off any order $50 or more. 2025 has been a great year for RJ's Trains. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, we hit 10,000 subscribers here on the channel, which is just an unfathomable number, a number that I never thought I would reach when I started this channel as a fun little YouTube COVID side project, what would be 6 years ago now. So all of this is rather insane, and I just can't thank you all enough. Now, I do plan on doing a layout update in a couple weeks where we'll fully recap the year of 2025, as well as talk about 2026 plans for the layout, the channel, and everything else. So make sure you're subscribed and you stay tuned and you look out for that video probably around New Year's Eve, New Year's Day is when I will upload it. Anyways, so I felt a fun way to recap the year of 2025 in RJ's Trains is recapping the top 5 locomotives that I have picked up throughout the course of the last 12 months. Now, it's been an interesting year for RJ's Trains. I've definitely picked up quite a few locomotives, probably more than I should have. But anyways, that's the fun in this hobby, wasting all of our money. Anyways, so, I figured let's take a trip down memory lane and look at the top 5 models that I personally have picked up over the last year. So there's not going to be any Vision Line Hudsons or Vision Line GG1s because I didn't buy those. So we're just going to be taking a look at the top 5 locomotives that have joined my collection this year. So without any further ado, let's take a look at number 5. And starting our countdown at number 5, we have the Atlas O Premier 280 consolidation, and this one in particular is Southern 630. And this is probably a controversial pick for top 5 locomotives in my opinion, but then again, it is my opinion. A lot of people complained that it wasn't detailed enough or detailed accurately. In my personal opinion, it's a lot more accurate than the Lionel version of 630, which I previously owned and sold in favor of this one. I think that the details are pretty good. They're better than a Lionel 280 consolidation. A lot of people complained about the molded in coal load. I went in and added my own realistic coal load, and it took 5 minutes, and I think it looks amazing. And you just get a lot of details that you can't get at this price point on a Lionel model. Still rather expensive, but then again, it's cheaper than anything else you could get at this level of detail and this size in the O-scale market. So in my personal opinion, it's well deserving of a top 5, and I really enjoy running this locomotive. It's probably gotten some of the most running time on my layout since I picked this up earlier this year. All right, now let's fire it up and run it around the layout. At number 4 on the list, we have the MTH Premier R1 subway set. This one specifically is the Holiday Train, which is a special train that's put on by the New York City Transit Museum during the weekends throughout the month of December for the holidays. And it's a train that I've ridden on in real life with my family. And growing up, going into New York City in the month of December to look at all the holiday lights and usually try to plan it around riding this train. So this one has a strong personal connection to me. I know it doesn't really fit in on my West Virginia themed train layout, but you know, one day I'll have a layout with a proper subway loop to run this thing. But you know, it's such a beautiful model, great details. You know, I do wish MTH included people inside the passenger cars, but you know, what are you going to do? That's a very simple and easy fix. Anyways, yeah, it's just a beautiful model, has that deep sentimental connection for me, so I'm super glad to have it in the collection. And now let's fire it up.
This is the Transit Museum Holiday Train, 6th Avenue local via the V line. Street, Eli Avenue. Fourteenth Street. Street, 34th Street, Herald Square. This is the last stop on the holiday train.
At number 3 on the list, we have the Lionel Legacy Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac F-19. Now, I'm kind of bending my own rules here because this one did arrive technically in 2024, but like 2 days before the new year. So I'm counting it as a 2025 purchase. It's within 12 months of making this video. Anyways, this is just a great locomotive, and you know, I think this came in at $1,100, and you'll never be able to get a locomotive of this high quality at that low of a price from Lionel again. This thing just has a ton of added on detail, especially on the front and then along the boiler. You have this beautiful Russian iron blue boiler. We can debate all night and day about whether or not it's the correct color. I think it looks good, so oh well. That's why it's number 3 here on the list. And the RF&P just had this amazing pinstriping on the cab and tender, and well, it just all combines for one of the best looking locomotives in my collection, and definitely well earned a top 3 spot here on my top 2025 trains that have joined the collection within the last year.
Train 1 brakeman, let's get an application for continuity test. Good application, okay to release. Train 1 brakeman, we have good set, good release, good continuity on timetable train number 1. Over. That's a roger. Good set, good release, good continuity on timetable train number 1. Out.
Dispatcher, we're ready. Is it okay to pull? Over.
Please stand by. Out.
And at number 2 on the list of my favorite engines that I've picked up in 2025, we have the all-new third rail Charger locomotives. Now, you only see one of them in front of you, the Mark 1, and that is because my other 2 Chargers, my Amtrak Phase 7 as well as my Amtrak Day 1 Chargers, are currently at a friend's house getting upgraded to Proto Sounds 3. So we just have the one Mark 1 here standing in. But overall, I love all 3 of them. I'm so glad that Third Rail finally made these 5 years or so after announcing them. And I actually already ordered a second Amtrak Phase 7 one for when they do their second run. So these engines just look phenomenal, and they look great pulling my Golden Gate Depot Amtrak passenger cars. So let's watch these 3 beautiful locomotives pull some cars around my layout. All right, what could it be? What could my number 1 top locomotive that joined my collection in 2025 could possibly be? Put it down in the comments below. And well, even though technically this is a older locomotive, this locomotive joined my collection in the early part of 2025. And yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that this is the top locomotive that joined my collection in 2025, and it's definitely one of the top locomotives in my collection, one of my favorites by far, and that is the MT Premier Deutsches Reichsbahn BR44 210 Decapod. And just by all of the detailing on this locomotive, you can just tell this thing is a beauty, and I'm so glad to have it, especially after seeing very similar locomotives on my trip to Germany in 2024. The details are spectacular. Yeah, I'm just so happy to have this one in the collection, and I know you guys really enjoy seeing it on my layout. I'll let the train do the talking because this one is truly spectacular. So let's enjoy watching the BR44 run around my layout.
Henrik, wir müssen rechts raus.
wraps it up for today's video of my top 5 favorite locomotives that have joined the collection. I'd love to hear down in the comments, what was your favorite locomotive to join your collection over the course of the last year? And is there a locomotive that I've picked up in the last year that didn't make this list that surprised you? There are certainly a few more options I had to choose from for my top 5. But considering this will probably be my last video before Christmas, I just want to say Merry Christmas to all of my viewers out there. I hope everybody has a happy and safe and healthy holiday season. And I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video, which will be taking a look at the brand new Sunset Models Third Rail Golden Gate Depot catalog, which comes out December 26th. So I hope to get that video out on the 26th, if not the 27th. But Merry Christmas. I hope everybody enjoys the holidays with their friends and family.
For anybody wondering what my favorite freight car of 2025 was, it is this Oreo Pennsylvania Railroad trailer flat car. That was a custom run for Mr. Muffins. MTH Trains. Really cool. Love it. Not that anybody actually